And, you know, we need to increase the percentage of people wearing masks. And I'm going to show you kind of how I came to this conclusion, because I had some questions about this. Does a mask requirement actually increase mask wearing? And how does increased mask wearing in the Colorado social context affect whether the virus spreads or not? So I have some data about that. This isn't just about Coloradans. It's also about all the folks coming from out of state. This is a key slide, really, in my decision-making process. You might recall what I wanted to know is, does it increase mask wearing when there is a mask wearing order of the city or county, or in this case, the state? You know, people should be wearing masks regardless of whether there's an order. I think I've said that many times ever since we've embraced masks as a mask-wearing culture. We have talked a number of times about how you shouldn't wait for a requirement. It's a rational thing to do to save your life and protect our economy, protect your loved ones. It turns out that having this kind of ordinance in place does increase mask wearing fairly substantially. Go back to the last slide, please. There's two different surveys that were done by outside groups, one CDPHE, one outside group. Mask wearing in counties with no mask order, 67%, pretty good. Colorado is pretty good. That's one of the reasons we're not a hot spot. We're doing pretty good on mask wearing, but with the mask ordinance, it went to 83%. The other study showed 49% going to 57%. Now, the other piece of information I want to know is, okay, I want to make sure mask wearing ordinances don't make people think everything's safe and they can forget about social distancing. That's very, very important. Wearing a mask complements social distancing. So we wanted to look at, are people focused on maintaining 6-foot distance more, the same, or less with a mask wearing ordinance? And it's a small difference, but the key thing for me is it wasn't less. I wanted to make sure that if the places with mask wearing ordinances, people weren't all congregating together just because they thought it was safe with the mask wearing ordinance. The good news is, if there's any difference, people are more careful about 6-foot distances, very slightly, in the areas with mask wearing ordinances. So this data from these two different data points was key to me in deciding, yes, local requirements and county requirements can increase mask wearing, and no, it does not make people think that they can forget about social distancing. That's very important in coming to this decision.